Welcome in, everybody. Before I got to my film room for today, I wanted to start off by giving my thoughts and prayers to the families, friends, and victims from the Chiefs Super Bowl parade on Wednesday. There are many ways that we can help out. I'm going to be getting together links for blood drives, for GoFundMe's, all that stuff. We're going to put it in the videos. I'm going to have it on my Twitter, so if you guys can go over there on Twitter at InHarmsWay19, we're going to do as much as we can to retweet and get all of those different ways to support the families and friends out there, the victims as well. The woman that was killed in the senseless violence that was portrayed on Wednesday. Whatever it is that you have, whether it's your thoughts, your prayers, everything, whichever way you want to help support, I hope that you do so. And maybe this little bit of content that I provide for you today will help take your mind off of everything that's been going on over the past 24 or 48 hours, however long it's been since those shootings. So just want to say that. Let's go ahead and jump in. It's hard to get right into that. But what we're going to talk about today is how the Chiefs offense mirrored really the entire 2023 performance from everything. You know, it started off with what felt like just constant problems, mistakes, turnovers, poor play, an entire reflection, like I said, of that 2023 season. Here's just the very first play. They're trying to run a little bit of counter. No one is able to get off the ball. The 49ers came in. They were physical. They attacked the Chiefs up front on that offensive line and continued to go after it. Negative plays in the first quarter, negative plays in the second quarter to start off the first play of the second half. We have play like this. It's just supposed to be a little pitch toss to Isaiah Pacheco, and it falls to the ground for a huge negative play. All of these things encompassing each other. They weren't on the right page. And those are all things that we've seen, from turnovers to penalties to just plain old mistakes like you see right here. And then at the end of the day, all of these things came into Patrick Mahomes feeling like he had to do more. He had to come in and take control. This ball sails on him, and they end up with a turnover. You know, luckily the defense was able to come in and really get going after that. The continuous thing, what they were doing all season long, with multiple different ways to force offenses to play left-handed, but this just sails. I think he was trying to hit Travis Kelce right there, but we can see it in the body language. All of that did not emulate the previous playoff games. So what we're going to talk about today here on RGR Football is how the Chiefs were able to take what the 49ers gave them in the first quarter and really early in the first half and early on in that second half, and flip it and get to what they wanted to do and get to attacking these 49ers and the defense that was playing with their hair on fire. They were physical, and all of that comes to fruition in the fourth quarter and in overtime. And we're going to talk about it all today right here. My name is Daniel Harms. You guys can follow me on Twitter at InHarmsWay19. I am the senior film analyst here, and like I said, we're going over and through how the Chiefs offense was able to get back on track and win back-to-back Super Bowl titles. We got to get through it. We got to talk about what they were able to do. And when it comes down to identifying what the priorities were for the 49ers defense, it was Travis Kelce. Multiple times that he was being lined up either in the slot here closest to the offensive line, or when he was out wide, he was the focal point of the defense. And what I mean by that is we've got a safety in right up close at the line of scrimmage, and he's also going to have the attention of Fred Warner. So he's going to have two different players here. So what they call one double, where you have one defensive back, safety back here, and they're just going to double Travis Kelce essentially. And, you know, the Chiefs on this play, you know, it ends up resulting in a sack, mostly because of what the 49ers did here. So they played man coverage everywhere else on the outside, and Patrick Mahomes sees, you know, they come out wide, and he sees he's got man-on-man to the outside. And what they're doing here is just a little bit of a whip route from both Travis Kelce out here and Rashee Rice, who's going to kick this inside and go out to the flat, or to the flat here as well. And then on the outside, you got a little bit of a fade from Isaiah Pacheco. But Mahomes sees two man-to-man coverage players down on his right-hand side with a single high safety. So he's going to take the option to his right first because he doesn't see as much hesitation here. He thinks Rashee Rice can get there. He also understands that this defensive player is shaded to Travis Kelce's side. So he's going to attack the opposite side. Now, the problem with that is that Rashee Rice doesn't get open. So he sees initially where Fred Warner goes first. He sees this right here. Travis Kelce trying to get into that space. So he comes back over here, and Rashee Rice is mugged up. He's got him right there off the line of scrimmage. And Chase Young is going to come firing off the edge here and get right to Patrick Mahomes, beating Donovan Smith there pretty quickly for a sack. So, and Nick Bosa was also incredibly efficient and effective in this football game. So how are they going to be able to adjust to this? What's the answer? So, like I said earlier in the football game, and most of the time when Travis Kelce was the standalone receiver on any side, they also did the same thing, but they had Fred Warner as the man coverage player, and he was mugging him up. So the Chiefs instead decided to identify where Travis Kelce was going to be and how they could get him man on man, or at least lined up against inside leveraged players or as the number one receiver. So when they motion Travis Kelce to the outside here, he becomes the quote unquote number one receiver, and that makes the entire formation shift. This is going to come into play later in the football game, but you're going to see Charvarius Ward is going to bump down, and then they're going to get depth, okay? So he's going to get depth with the receiver running outside here. This is Noah Gray actually going to be running a corner route, so he's coming up and just going to carry this to the outside. Travis Kelce is just going to run underneath here. So the sail concept, this flat route with the corner route. The only difference is there's no clear out route to take the cornerback all the way with him. But he's off the ball enough here that Travis Kelce is going to be available early on in the flat with that linebacker, Burks right there, number 48, who's not able to get enough depth. So they motion Kelce to the perimeter. He becomes that number one option, and the 49ers just rotate with him. So it extends Charvarius Ward into that space as the quote-unquote number one receiver. So that was how they adjusted to seeing that man coverage or that close coverage to those inside players, whether it be a safety or Fred Warner to Travis Kelce, and that's really how they got him moving. So there were a couple of times in this game that had a lot of what we call momentum plays. Now, there will be people out there that tell you that momentum in football doesn't exist, but we all know that it really does. And although they did not get a touchdown on this drive, I don't even think they got a field goal on this drive. They ended up punting. This is a huge momentum play. This is really when I knew that Patrick Mahomes was about to take over the football game. And it's where I saw, the sideline cheering. You could see at the end here, everyone's like right there, like getting over there. They want to go congratulate him. Everyone's starting to get pumped up a little bit more. A huge third down conversion where Patrick sacrifices the body, puts his shoulder down, and gets going. I love that kind of stuff. So what I also want to just quickly note here is that pump fake was to Justin Watson, who multiple times in this football game found himself settling in zones but continuing to work. All that stuff showed up in this football game, and they really are things that you should be taking note of for a guy like Justin Watson, who might have earned more playing time next season in terms of being back on this roster. I think they're going to release, MVS and really try to remake the wide receiver room. But speaking of MVS, this is the next momentum play because it was right after that punt that ended up careening off the ankle of one of the 49ers defenders. It's a fantastic play call. The 49ers have been doing this quite a bit, something that the Chiefs weren't used to seeing. It's them shifting their defensive coverage. Now they come out with a too high shell initially, and they drop into cover 3. And this safety to the top of the screen on the right-hand side of the offense is going to shift down. He's going to rotate down, become this underneath defender. And that means that you have Charvarius Ward, who's going to rotate back as a cover 3 defender. Now, you guys remember when I talked about Travis Kelce motioning out and all that stuff becoming the number one defender? Well, here, the number one option, here, the Chiefs are going to run what's called a switch go, essentially. So you have both receivers on the outside, Travis Kelce and MVS are going to run go routes, but they're going to do it switching sides. So MVS is going to take the name is escaping me right now, but he's going to release to the inside, get up the seam, there it is, and take that go route, and Travis Kelce is going to go on the opposite end and get up the field. So by this safety shifting downward, he is now taking on a different role entirely to this offense, to what he's seeing here. He's coming down into the flat, and the Chiefs add a little bit of flair to it with a flare out from Isaiah Pacheco, and that puts that safety in a bind. So now where is he going to go? Is he going to come downhill because he becomes that underneath defender now? Is he going to take the flat? Is he going to take all the way down the field? Is he going to go with Travis Kelce? Or is he going to go with MVS? And this is the cool part about this, is because here's the motion, identifies that, okay, if he comes out here, Fred Warner is releasing with him. And then watch this backside safety really quickly. We're going to watch him as he does not get anywhere near the middle of the field right here. So there's that switch go. The underneath defender comes through. Travarius Ward takes Travis Kelce as he releases to the outside. And Marquez Valdez-Scantling comes 100% open, because what Travarius Ward is thinking, he's like, okay, I see Travis Kelce. He's coming out here on my own. I can take care of him. I don't have to worry about him. So I'm going to send MVS to my middle safety defender, right? But he's not getting any space. He is not getting anywhere. He's not getting to the middle of the field. So this was supposed to be passed off. And then you can even see Travarius Ward throw his arms up like, what are we doing? Travis Kelce points to MVS. They knew this was coming. They knew that the 49ers were going to rotate to a cover 3 defense right here, and they had that switch release. So even if they don't, fantastic play call for that switch go route for Travis Kelce and MVS, and it results in a huge momentum swing. The Chiefs take the lead on this play, and Patrick Mahomes never even looks to the left. He just layers that throw right over the linebacker, and MVS catches it for a touchdown. So Mahomes, multiple times in this football game, highlighted himself as a runner, because he's one of the most impactful scramblers and rushers for someone who's not known as, a typical running quarterback. This is just a zone read. One of the things that I had been honestly frustrated about the whole game was that they were coming down. They were clamping down on this. Nick Bosa, he does this a lot. He's a very aggressive player. And looking back, as the game continued to be close, I think the Chiefs did a really nice job of analyzing what was happening here. So this is just zone read. And everyone's going to block down. Everyone's blocking down. Again, this is the outside zone look where Clyde Edwards-Helaire runs to the outside, which I can't stand usually. But Mahomes does a good job, again, of taking this with the other players coming out here and opening that right-hand side and keeping those defenders there. Opening this wide all the way up because it's man coverage. Pat obviously knows that, and he took off. So that read option is at one of the huge plays here where Patrick showcases, I'm going to do this. And I think that it's a really fantastic job of waiting till the right moment to spur something that you've never put on tape and doing it right there. So Patrick Mahomes has led the Chiefs in rushing in this football game. In his career in Super Bowls, he's totaled 172 rushing yards. That's the most for a quarterback in Super Bowls ever. Incredible. Just an incredible player. So we're going to see here the 49ers rotate to a cover 2. And this is really where it started to get going for Patrick. Everything was working here. So let me get back to the down. I think this is a second and 10, if I'm not mistaken, on this play here. Yep, second and 10. So this is in the fourth quarter. And they come out with a standalone receiver to the left-hand side. And he's just going to run this bender. And he's going to take this to the outside here. So they rotate to a cover 2. And even with the safety in the middle of the field, if you have this play on, you can get Justin Watson open. And they're going to flare Isaiah Pacheco to the flat on the left-hand side. And again, we're going to have defender come down here. This defender is going to rotate out. But you're hitting a hole shot right here in the defense. So no matter what they do in this specific situation, Patrick is going to see it. So he's going to look to his right first, and then he sees, okay, I don't need to worry about that. There's more defenders on that side than there are on the left side. I'm going to hit the backside, and it's a fantastic throw. Attacking that zone and knows that they're going to rotate. And then he knows that they're rotating. It'll have to be from the right because of where that safety is. So because of where the safety is, he is shaded to the right-hand side of the defense. So he's on, yes, on the left-hand side of the offense. So he understands if they end up rotating, that it has to be someone from the right-hand side of the offense. So he looks to the right, sees number 31 back all the way out, and hits on the backside there as number 27 is trying to get depth. It's a fantastic ID from Patrick Mahomes and an even better throw to Justin Watson on that corner route. So you're going to see right here, he goes, looks to the right. Okay, I'm going left. Oh, layered throw, beautifully in stride to Justin Watson for a big play. He had a really good day. And Justin Watson, again, like I said earlier, might have earned to be back on this roster as that veteran wide receiver in the room, someone who continuously worked. He had a fantastic game and was consistently finding spots in zones and sitting down. This is maybe one of my favorite plays. It's 3rd and 10. So you just saw number 48 from the 49ers run from right hand to left hand, and then they switch what they're doing, and they're going to drop out. Patrick sees it. He identified the blitz super quickly. And like I said, when I'm going to find here exactly where we were, because it was a nice adjustment. So they're rushing to line up properly. He's lined up in the wrong spot. He's blitzing. So he's coming up to the line, and now he's on the left-hand side. So what gave the blitz away, for the most part, is that this player, you've already got man-on-man here. We're showing man. We have a guy underneath, a safety underneath. We're showing blitz. We are, as a defense, showing blitz. And now you've moved one player from right hand of the defense to the left hand of the defense. Okay, he's coming. He doesn't have a responsibility because you have multiple people over here that have responsibilities. And as a linebacker lining up down here, you're showing what your hand is. So Mahomes comes up, he identifies, it signals to everybody, and then he motions Justin Watson from left to right, which takes a man with him. You see the man coverage aspect that's coming into play? And number 48 rotates as well. So there's two people out of space, out of sync. And so what happens here is that the Chiefs are going to run a clear out. So Justin Watson is just going down the field, and Travis Kelce is going to run underneath this nice little clear out route. It's a fantastic play call for what we just saw the 49ers do. You've got a little quick slant on the right-hand side and just a go release to the outside here. And then you have pass protection from Jerick McKinnon on 3rd and 10. All of this play just to show you that Patrick saw the blitz coming and he knew exactly how to attack it by setting this up on 3rd and 10. An incredible play call because, again, we have Fred Warner bailing out. He has to get depth. He can't get beat down the field, even if they have number 31 over here. Okay, so they have this defensive player here. Fred Warner cannot allow Justin Watson to get here because he understands there's no one else on this side that's going to help. I have one deep safety, so I have to carry Justin Watson all the way down as far as I can, and that opens up Travis Kelce in the middle of the field. Fantastic design, fantastic job of Patrick seeing that, and you can see how frustrated Fred Warner is after the play because there's nothing he could have done. He had to get that depth. We see that a lot where they mug up Fred Warner and they pull him out and get that depth. He has to get like 15 yards back there to be able to do that. And we're seeing the Patrick just understand, all right, we got enough of the players gotten up. Like, he's going to get hit. He does get hit by Nick Bosa. Gets the ball out on time for a first down to Travis Kelce. This is another one of the things, showing off Patrick Mahomes' mental ability. So the 49ers come up, and they are just going to all-out blitz. They're going to all-out blitz this. And typically, you guys remember going back to the Baltimore game where we saw Isaiah Pacheco and Patrick Mahomes, when they came up to the line of scrimmage, they're always talking, right? They're communicating. That communication typically is trying to tell the running back where you're picking up the blitz, okay? But instead, Patrick Mahomes is going to check to a quick screen to the right-hand side. And it's going to be a leak screen to Jerick McKinnon, who, again, hats off to Jerick McKinnon for getting right for this football game. I can't believe it. It's an incredible play call here to get both of these guys. And you can tell it's a screen because of MVS. The check happens, and watch MVS. He's going to come out here and just look to block. He's not running a route at all. I mean, I like the fact that Rashee Rice is out here looking for the football. But this is a screen. It's 3rd and 2. Just do your job. Go out and block somebody. Get there. Make it happen. So communication up front. We see the 0 blitz is coming. And Patrick's like, no problem. I'm going to dump this down on 3rd and 2 and get another first down. Keep the drive going. Make this field goal easier for Harrison Butker. And just the mental side coming out from Patrick. You see him signaling. Again, I don't know what the signal is exactly, but you have all this. And everyone's like, really? We're going to do this? And Creed's like, yes, we are going to do this right now. Like, you can see him communicating. It's beautiful. Patrick communicating with the receivers, the offensive line communicating with each other, and Creed is telling everyone, it's fine, it's fine. I know they're coming. This ball is coming out quick. Don't worry about it. Just get to the outside. Great play call. Now here's the play that Travis Kelce wound the clock back. He wound it back for a few years. I believe this is the fastest he's hit in 5 years from Next Gen Stats. An incredible play, an incredible design. And you guys will notice that this looks very, very familiar. It's the same exact play. If you guys listened to Travis and Jason's podcast, the New Heights podcast, he's talking about it. It's why shallow, why cross, all of that coming in the same thing. So we see here, Travis Kelce is the standalone receiver. You remember how I talked about how when he was the standalone receiver, it was him versus Fred Warner. Well, here he is. He's got Fred Warner right on him, except that he's playing outside leverage. So he is lined up to the outside of Travis, which as soon as he saw that, he knew he was going to win on this route. He absolutely knew it. And the reason that Fred Warner is playing outside leverage is because he has no help to his outside. He's got none. He wants to be funneling Travis back to the inside, back to his help. Now the problem becomes that the Chiefs are running crossers, and they're clearing out Travis Kelce, and you've got Noah Gray running just a little shallow cross in front of him. A little bit deeper than that. You've also got MVS coming out running a crossing route, and Justin Watson coming out and running a crossing route. What does all this do? Creates traffic. And because the 49ers, again, were playing one man and double, this safety is actually the double man on Travis Kelce. But when you create all of this traffic, he can't just cut underneath to Travis on this route. So while Travis is out here, he's going to do a little bit of a hesitation, hit him with the outside, and boom, he's gone. It's over. From that point on, the fact that it was outside leverage and the fact that it was that one double, it creates all of this motion in the middle of the field. Look, there's nothing he can do. He can't get there. There's too much here. And Travis Kelce, again, knew he had to be the fastest that he's been in 5 years to clear Fred Warner. We know Fred Warner's fast. He pulled away from Fred Warner. Pulled away. Nearly hit 20 miles an hour. Travis Kelce is not toast, y'all. He can still bring it. And here's the inside, outside hesitation. He's gone. Fred Kelce on that Y shallow cross. Great stuff here. Now we've got back-to-back plays that I'm going to show you and what forced Kyle Shanahan to use the timeout. Because Steve Wilkes didn't have any more answers. He didn't have any more answers. The Chiefs were running everything at him. But instead of trying to just let Mahomes be methodical and stuff like that, this is the second down play after MVS lost a ton of yards. So you're just going to see, this is very reminiscent of what the Bills did in 13 seconds. It's very reminiscent. Look at all this space from the defense. They're all here. They just don't want to give up the big play. Patrick's like, fine, we don't need a big play. I need to get half of this back. And he did. Right there, MVS goes upfield, falls for another 2 yards, and he gets half of it back based off of the defensive look. That's all it is. This gets to 3rd and 6. But still, like, it's just showing you that you can come out here and blitz all you want to. Patrick has developed to the point where he does not need to be methodical. He doesn't need the big plays. He doesn't need to be, he needs to be methodical, but he doesn't need the big plays. He doesn't need the shot plays. He doesn't have to have the big explosives to win football games. Mentally, he's going to pick you apart. In overtime, again, Patrick Mahomes was 8 of 8. He did not miss once. And here's the 3rd and 6 It's very, very subtle. But you've got Jerick McKinnon is going to be pass protecting. And I know that he kind of holds Fred Warner here a little bit. It gets lost in the shuffle. He wraps him up a little bit. But what can you do? And honestly, if you guys watch, they lose they lose McCole Hardman. They do lose McCole Hardman. So this game could have won, maybe been won right here. Obviously, all of that is conjecture. It's more of just based off the look that I see here. So we have Travis Kelce going to come up here and sit down in defense. Oh, that's ugly. And MVS is going to run a little corner route here. So again, it's just kind of clearing out, putting attention to Travis Kelce in the middle of the field, and not so much on where Rashee Rice is going. But watch the path. It's ever so slightly back to his right. And all that does is buy him a little bit of time. He knows the free rusher's coming from the left. The only free rusher would come from this side. So he knows that 31's coming off the edge, and he's like, Jerick, don't worry about it. Don't worry about the outside. Let the free rusher come from the outside in 10, 12-yard gain. It's fantastic. The mental side from what Patrick Mahomes is doing to hit that cross. Beautiful. Like it just speaks. And again, this is what I mean by McCole Hardman. The attention was on Rashee Rice. The attention was on Travis Kelce, and they had two guys on MVS, which left McCole Hardman wide open. But that shows you the impact of what Patrick Mahomes was doing, and that forced them to have to call timeout, right? They had to call timeout because Wilkes did it again. And Kyle Shanahan said, no, we're not doing this. We're not letting him beat us with the blitz. Going back to 2023, the 2023 Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes, bum ankle. This is almost the exact scramble that he had against those Eagles. It's almost the exact one. It's beautiful. He runs away from Fred Warner, who was gassed and did not give much effort here on trying to tackle Patrick Mahomes. Like, he could have dove, but he didn't. Patrick, in that moment, the Chiefs, in this moment, knew they were winning the football game. We all kind of saw it coming with a little bit of added pressure here. Patrick Mahomes averages, this is a tweet from Mina Kimes, he averages 0.67 EPA per play using his legs in the postseason. It's higher than any other quarterback. Despite the fact that he has more carries than every other quarterback. Patrick Mahomes carries the football more times than any other quarterback in the postseason, and he's more efficient than any other quarterback when he rushes. And then to end the day, we got Tom and Jerry. And you guys remember when I talked about when Travis Kelce is the end of formation receiver, how he'd be taken by Charvarius Ward? They set Charvarius Ward up in this exact moment because they knew they hadn't changed all game. And the one time that the Chiefs do this motion, they didn't do it at all the entire game. The one time is in this moment. Travis Kelce looks up at the screen because he knows that Charvarius Ward's taken him. McCole Hardman. This is poetry. It's Super Bowls. Throwing it to Marquez Valdes-Scantling for a touchdown. Throwing it to McCole Hardman for a all these things. Yes, they struggled for maybe, I would give it 65% of the game. And you can tip your cap to Steve Wilkes, who ended up getting fired, not because of this postseason performance, but because of everything prior. In the biggest moment, when they were down, Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs offense, slowly whittled away. Defense, we're going to get to it next week. Don't worry about that. We're getting to the defense. They whittled away. They got field goals. They trusted Harrison Butker to set the record at a 57-yard field goal in the Super Bowl. And then when the game came down to its most pressing moments, the Chiefs possessed the football once before the end of the game, or the end of the fourth quarter, needing a field goal. They got it. And then once at the end of the overtime period, and they scored a touchdown to win the football game. Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl not only is the most efficient runner, he's one of the most deadly people to have the football that has ever existed in the history of the game. Think about that. And now the Chiefs are in position to do something that has never been done before. Three-peat. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed the breakdown of all of what they were able to do and how they changed their game. They adjusted to what the 49ers were doing. And like I said, early in the game, they weren't doing well. They kept hurting themselves. That stopped in the second half and into overtime for the most part. And they came out on top. You guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Please, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to hit that like button. Hope this video was able to earn a like from all the fans and maybe all the new ones as well as we continue now on into the off season. RGR Football is going to continue to put out content. And like I said, next week, we're talking about the defense and how this might have been the greatest performance of all time. Think about that. I hope you guys can have a good day as best you can with everything that's going on. And I hope that this video was able to give you a little bit of relief mentally from thinking about the tragedy on Wednesday. So have yourselves a good rest of your week. Hold your loved ones close. And we'll see you guys.